Good morning, everybody. So I want to pause just for a second to make sure we both give another shout out to those student performers and the adults who came with them. We had 73 elementary school students that came before school with chaperones. And I want to pause again. 23-hour van drive from South Dakota with the 10 students here. So let's just give one more round of applause. So I have to say, seeing those students, seeing all of you, reminds me of a time when I recently was at a jazz lounge in Minneapolis. It's called Crooner's Lounge. And I was there to see Dr. Mambo's Combo, and Monique Blakey started singing. And as she was singing, a line of the song just jumped out at me. The thrill of hope. That phrase captures perfectly what I think of when I see all of you. It's the anticipation of something good. We're right on the edge of something. It's similar to when you're working with a student and a new concept just clicks, or you unleash a new talent. So many in the world don't know what you know. What happens when you fill a building with adults who are working together and you are able to uncover and unlock this incredible talent in our young people? Our young people are truly amazing, capable of astonishing things, and that gives me the thrill of hope. I'm going to tell you a story of one of the first times I experienced the thrill of hope, and it was as a parent. Now, I want to say clearly, my son is here for the first time. He's in his 20s now, and in 6th grade, I'm going to call it like it is, he was awkward. Real awkward. Insisted on a bowl haircut. He had braces with multiple color rubber bands in the front. He wore transition lens glasses, and on the sides of the glasses were dolphins. So I hope you're getting this full image. To make it even sweeter, he called the dolphins sharks. So, as we are driving him to his 6th grade end of the year concert, he casually announces from the back seat he's going to be performing on stage in front of about 1,000 people. I gently ask, so what are you going to sing? Oh, I'll be singing Don't Stop Believin'. You know, the Journey song with the massive belting anthem? So my husband and I exchanged concerned looks, dropped him off at the front door. We proceeded to get in the auditorium, find friends, and say, okay, so Jonah's singing a solo. They ask a very reasonable question. Does Jonah sing? Not to our knowledge. So I say, if this thing goes poorly, we need a distraction. I need people to pretend to faint. We need to cause a scene. So I had the entire row on high alert for when Jonah got up to the stage. So Jonah starts singing, and by the time he got to Just a City Boy, born and raised in South Detroit, people are shocked. It turns out my boy can sing. His teacher knew something we didn't know and gave him the confidence to be willing to share it. That's what you do all of the time. It's a really small example, but discovering things in young people that even they don't know exists and providing them the confidence to actually share it with others. We have so much talent in our young people. This is where the entire idea of BARR came from. So I'm going to take you back to the late 1990s, early 2000s. Working as a high school counselor. 5 years in a row, half the students failed a course. This does not inspire confidence into one's career choice. I'm calling people in. They're saying, Miss Jerabek, don't worry. Everyone's failing. I don't know why you're so stressed about this, which was true. They're all failing. So I go to the principal to say, I think I have to resign. Clearly, passing classes is a bare minimum to a successful future. He said, it's not you. It's not our school. It's a national average. And why don't you come up with a better way? So I'm looking at my colleagues, which you're going to see some of them here, Miss Cagle. I'm like, it is not the educators. Our educators are amazing. They're passionate. They're creative. I'm also looking at the students going, it's not the students. They are more than capable of passing classes. So I'm like, what is the issue? It had to be the system that we were actually working in, specifically the way the adults were working together. We needed to reinvent the system. So, borrowing practices from both the medical model and business practices, I conceived a new way for educators to collaborate, focus on the student strengths, shared data, transparent data, and focusing on those relationships. I named the new system BARR, Building Assets, Reducing Risks. After the very first year, our failure rate dropped in half. It continued to drop time and time again, but at the same time, we had more and more students taking advanced level courses, so much so that ACT named us the College and Career Going Model of the Year. This was not just about remediation. This was about uncovering the talent in our young people. Teachers were meeting regularly. They were sharing information. The kids were known. Their interests were known, their strengths, their hopes, their dreams. And at the center of all of this change was something both very simple and very powerful. People knew they were no longer alone. No longer are they just responsible for the students that they have in their class, and they knew they had others that were working with them. BARR works because it unleashes the talent that's already there. So after that first decade, I thought, well, this should work any place. Not touching curriculum, not touching pedagogy, but I did not want any schools taking this on unless we actually researched it. During this time, I also have to say, we had a tech expert visit a BARR school, and he said, oh, this makes sense. You've just updated the operating system, which is exactly what we do. We defer to local context. We don't touch pedagogy. We don't touch curriculum. We are just updating the operating system. So we started to do research. We did the most rigorous research you can do. We did randomized control trials. I want to pause on the type of studies we conducted, because rarely, if ever, had anyone done randomized control trials in schools, because they said it was too hard to build a schedule to have some students be in the intervention and some be in the control group. But what they didn't realize is I was a school counselor. I could get you out by 7th hour to make baseball practice. I could get you an honors English and, kind of a basic math class. So trust me, if I can do this for 400 kids, I can build a schedule to do a randomized control trial. And I no longer wanted the excuse of, well, that data doesn't matter because they won a basketball championship. Or that doesn't matter because they've got a good principal. Or that doesn't matter because they got a bad principal. So I'm like, let's actually find out, is this a difference maker or not? So we had 78 schools in over 20 states participate in randomized control trials. We have 21 statistically significant impacts. We are the most researched model in the nation. Students have increased standardized test scores in both math and reading in 1 year. Students are coming to school more. There's a decrease in failure rates, reduction in office referrals, but the change isn't just for the students. It's for the staff too. The staff feel more connected. They actually feel appreciated, that their expertise is known. They're staying in the profession. So, one of my favorite things to do is actually go and see schools. In the past 6 months, I was able to visit schools in North Dakota, Wyoming, and Minnesota with people who are not classroom teachers so that I could actually see what BARR looked like. After we would visit and we'd see a team meeting, I would ask them, what'd you think? One of the visitors said, it was dazzling. Rarely, if ever, do classroom teachers hear observing them meet to discuss students is dazzling, but that's what it was. Another visitor said they were struck by the amount of faith the teachers had that the students would succeed. They also had an incredible amount of faith in each other, that the solutions existed in that room. Another teacher said, if there was anyone who had any doubts about the future of education in America, all they need to do is go see a BARR school. They will see incredible talent, and they will see incredibly inspired, passionate, and creative educators. Their hope in the future is going to be restored. BARR's work is human-centered. It's passion-fueled. It's evidence-backed. It's the same students. It's the same teachers. The results are dazzling. Our world is changing faster than it ever has before. Students face a world with ever newer tech tools, promises of constant innovation. And the school's job is preparing these young people for that world. That's going to take a lot more than good intentions. Certainly going to take more than a school system designed generations ago. Our education system needs to innovate by focusing on the one thing that will never change. We are humans teaching humans. We need to feel seen, we need to belong, and we need to work together. Traditional school structures put up silos that separate teachers from working together and separates the students from actually connecting with the adults that are there to help them. BARR breaks down those silos. It ensures that while students are building academic skills, they are also building relationship and collaboration skills that they are going to need to work in this fast-changing world. When people connect with each other, something amazing happens. Talent is unleashed, possibilities expand, and students begin to realize their potential. Educators rediscover the joy that they had when they chose this profession. Young people leave school not just having passed classes, but with confidence, expecting to be challenged, expecting to contribute, and expecting to succeed. A while back, I noticed a lot of our BARR schools talked about their students and told me that their students were most likely to change the world. About 5 years ago, I extended that phrase to include the educators. You are the ones seeing this talent. You are the ones that are instilling the confidence. You are the ones that are most likely to change the world. Today, I extend that phrase to all of you. All of you have a place to make sure that these young people are being seen, and that truly you will make sure that they are most likely to change the world. That brings us back to where we started, the thrill of hope. Because when we see what happens in BARR schools, when you see educators connecting with each other, believing in their students, believing in each other, and making sure that there is confidence to realize that potential, hope becomes real. Thanks to your incredible work, your young people, their families, your communities, and all of us here get to experience the thrill of hope. Thank you so much.